Well, good morning, folks. It's 11 o'clock. I hope all is well. This is Rich Dunsworth, and we are live from the University of the Ozarks for our Friday conversations and Friday updates. So just to let you know, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a few minutes, and we're going to go for a walkabout on campus. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update of where we are as we're in a mad dash to August 25th and the opening of the school year. So some of you may be saying, hey, you've been telling us a lot about masks. Why aren't you wearing a mask? I'm going to do a quick 360, and you'll see there is absolutely, well, not absolutely, Tyler Mosby is about 12 feet away from me, and he's going to give me that much distance and kind of give me, well, a warning, so that should I need to put on a mask, I'll put on a mask. I wanted to be outside today for a couple of different reasons. One is, as you all know, over my shoulder is the chapel, and, well, the chapel gives me a little bit of peace. Also, behind me, and you might hear it, the fountain is on. All right, why is that such a big deal? Well, the fountain was emptied in March, and it hasn't been on all summer. So it's back on, and that just feels like, it just feels like things are coming, and it feels, well, between the chapel and the fountain, it feels hopeful, and that's where, well, that's where I am. So if this is a first time for you and you haven't done this, since March we've been talking about what does it look like in the era of COVID? What does it look like here at Ozarks? What might it take for us to be able to be successful on campus this fall? And I've been doing weekly updates to tell you what we're doing and to give you information about Ozarks, about our classes, about dining, anything and everything that you might want to know so that we can be up and ready and open. So, folks, I know we're prepping for students to arrive, but I'm going to flip screens, and you'll see the backs of a couple of folks waving at me. The newest program at the University of the Ozarks, which is Greystone Prep Academy. If you haven't heard about that, Prepstone is a military prep academy where students are as college freshmen. They are working on anything from their math and science skills to their physical fitness, all with the hopes of being at one of our service academies in the fall. It's an amazing group. The Alpha class started this last week with 13 new students, and it is our hope that that program grows, and that from that we also continue to invest and grow the ROTC program. So we're going to walk into the Student Center. Why the Student Center? Well, because we've had a lot of questions about food and wondering how is food going to work. I also want to show you some of the classrooms that are now in the Student Center to give you a chance to get a feel for the layout of whatever it's going to look like as we prepare. Now, as I'm getting ready to walk in a building, I don't know what to expect. So because I don't know what to expect, I need to protect my colleagues and myself from the unexpected. And it's just that quick and just that easy. I'm going to flip screens and we'll see how we do. So just as last week when I said, hey, you're going to see signage everywhere, this is what you see now on the Student Center. So you're going to walk into the cafeteria. All right, now we've got things outside here where they will be reminding us of social distancing. The reflection is a little rough there. They'll be checking to make sure we're good to go in the cafeteria. You'll see these are out as they're doing to-go items and trying to make it easy as possible. You'll see all the new directions on face coverings, food safety, and takeout. As you come into the cafeteria, no cleaning to prep for everything. So there'll be lines that allow you to go to any of the stations. And then as we prepare to open, there will be limited seating. When I say prepare to open, once we've been up and running, we'll be able to do some limited seating in here. It's not set up that way yet, but that is the general plan. Also, to give you proximity, see all the tennis courts? Those are our old tennis courts right out the side door. By the time students arrive, or shortly thereafter, that will be outdoor dining. All right, the outdoor dining will have some pretty cool, I'll call them picnic tables, but they're not exactly picnic tables, with umbrellas and awnings so that folks can grab their food and sit outside in as safe as way as possible. All right, now let me show you what the classrooms are gonna look like here in the Student Center. All right, remember this is normally the conference center. What we've done is turned it into a classroom building, all right? And this allows us to meet the requirements for safety and social distancing. For those of you that have spent any time in the conference center, it also has some of the best technology on campus. It makes it easy to transition and clean between classes, and we believe that it's a nice accommodation in light of the challenges that we're having. Tyler, feel free to wave and say hello.
Hey, everybody.
All right. A couple more spaces. Just to orient folks, I'm walking down the back stairs of the conference center. And we're going to check out the Rawhauser Fitness Center, which is in transition. All right, so the Rawhauser, what was the fitness center, is right here. Hello.
Hello.
All right, so we've started adding technology. We'll start adding classroom furniture here. And then as I mentioned last week, where you have entrance doors, we've started adding exit doors so that any student who's exiting a class will exit out differently from where you came in. All right? Then let's show you one more classroom that's definitely a little bit of a change too. As you notice, RAs and OEMs are here. They are complying with masks. Social distancing between these two, I don't know, rumor has it they got engaged over the summer. So maybe they could work on social distancing, but I'm probably not going to lecture them on that. So here's another example of a classroom. Again, we have RAs and OEMs in training, where we have turned what was the Student Engagement Center into a classroom. It creates large enough space so that folks can be socially distanced. You'll see technology has been added. The one thing that hasn't been added to this room yet is the exit door, which is being added. It's ordered. Not surprisingly, we were challenged with some supply chain issues, and as soon as we get it, that door will go in. Things that you'll see here, folks putting together the safety packets. What will be used for every student will get different safety packets as they come in. It looks like this crew is, I don't know, they're planning for first week. And the safety packets are over here. So as you know, we do a lot of planning and prep work before folks come in an effort to make sure we're good to go and ready. And then we also have lots of painting. Hi. Lots of painting, and some folks may have noticed that upstairs we had added a few new colors upstairs as folks are just trying to get ready for y'all to be here. All right, with that as a backdrop, I'm gonna flip the screen and find a place to stand, and Tyler's gonna feed me questions. Here, what do I need to talk about?
First question, are there masks with the logo available yet?
Are there masks with the logo available? They have been ordered. They are scheduled to arrive right before the school year ends. It's part of why you're seeing some disposables. We thought we were going to get them, and then we were notified, I think, a week ago that that they would be a little bit late. So every student's going to get multiple disposables, and then they'll be issued ones that either have the logo, the eagle on it, or the crest. So we've got both.
How many students will be on campus this semester?
How many students will be on campus this semester? We had a pretty good count up until this morning. So when I say we had a good count until this morning, and I just heard some students laugh in the background because they know what kind of morning it's been. So let's back out of that. We knew that we were going to enroll 900 students and that we would have about 530 physically in our residence halls, with of the 900, about 870 of them being in Clarksville. That we knew we had about 30 or so that were going to be online in one capacity or as another. Some things happened in Washington today that might put part of our student population at risk for arriving. We've got some challenges in U.S. immigration staffing. It appears they're going to furlough 13 to 16,000 employees around the world, and those employees are the people that help release international students to get here to study. So we're checking in with all of those students today, tomorrow, and Sunday so that we have a new number on Monday of what we're going to get. I know that's a big answer to what sounded like a number question, but I want you to know the challenges that we're facing and the challenges that our students are facing. It's our hope that they'll be able to arrive, but if not, most of those students are rolling to online, and we'll have them here in January. We're not losing students because of the challenges, we're just changing the modality. Tyler, what else?
Students on campus that are all online, where are they expected to take their online-only classes?
Great. The question is, for students that are online only but living on campus, what should be expected of them as it relates to where they take their classes? Couple of different thoughts. So the one is that we'll be working with students on their residential spaces and that work. There's also going to be spaces as it relates to the library, the different kinds of carols and support spaces, and then we'll be working with those students on what classrooms are available that won't be used as classrooms, that could be used, hey, I just need a different kind of space. So there's going to be a fair amount of flexibility there, but there are going to be some spaces they can't use. So I'm going to flip this for just a second. All right, folks, what's missing? All the furniture. All right, if you noticed upstairs, all the furniture. That furniture is not coming back. And the reason why that furniture is not coming back this semester is we are going to change as much of the environment as possible so that folks aren't lounging in unsafe ways. So as we think about classroom space, they won't be able to take their class in the main lobby of the student center. We'll try to get them into an academic space. How do folks like the mud holes that Andy and crew are filling behind me? That's the kind of work that gets done in August, all the different blemishes. So anyway, what else, Tyler?
At this time, that's all the questions that have been posted. That's encouraging, looks exciting, nice and spacious, awesome enrollment numbers.
Fantastic. All right, I just saw Joshua. I was going to put him on the spot. Joshua Gorham is the director of our dining services, is there prepping the Eagle's Nest, and I thought I might grab him and see if he might want to join me for a minute or two to talk about food, but it looks like I missed that opportunity. Know that we're preparing. Know that we're doing everything we can to ensure that campus is safe, and that we're following the guidelines that we're receiving from the CDC, the World Health Organization, and even the resocialization of sport from Dr. Hainline and the NCAA. For those of you that are student athletes, know that we're going to try to give you as much of an experience as possible, especially this first semester. That means, no travel. That means you're going to be here, but we're going to be expecting and preparing for you to be able to train. And as Director Clark would say, get bigger, faster, stronger every day. And that's kind of our mindset for everything that we're doing in an effort to give you the best experience you can have. For my students, I know you've heard me say this, and I hope it doesn't get tired, that I don't want 6 months, 8 months, 18 months to change the trajectory of your life. And that's what keeps us driving every day to ensure that we're preparing the campus for you, is that that yes, this is going to be an asterisk, and yes, we're going to talk about, well, what was it like for you, but I don't want it to change the direction and trajectory of your life, and that's how we're approaching it. Whether you're taking your classes online, whether you're taking your classes hybrid, or whether you're in a classroom every day. And you know, I'll keep showing you some of the spaces as you're prepping to be here. One of the spaces that was probably the most shocking for me this week was walking into what was the old swimming pool, become wrestling gym, becomes Dr. Stuart Dipple's classroom. That's a transformation that we're still working on, but we're working on it, and it creates a great big classroom that allows people to move around and be safe. So know that we're good, know that we're doing well. I also know that there are questions about, well, when do visitors get to start coming back? And, you know, when do our alumni and our friends get to start coming back? We said, hey, we're going to do homecoming this year online or virtual, or we're not doing homecoming face-to-face. That's unprecedented. But we made the decision in an effort to protect education over those other things, and we want to have our alumni and friends back as soon as possible, and as soon as we know we can do it safely. And when we say safely, we do threat assessments using information that's coming out primarily from the CDC, and then I believe it's Georgia Tech built a really cool tracking tool that allows you to input numbers, how many people will be in attendance, what is the plan, and gives you risks and threats. As soon as we can get those threat assessments down, we'll start opening campus back up to not only our local friends that are accustomed to being here almost every day, but then we'll also open it up to our alumni and others. So, all right, do we have any other questions, Tyler?
What are kitchen areas in the residence halls going to look like with social distancing guidelines?
What are kitchens going to look like in the residence halls with social distancing guidelines? Excuse me one moment. Any RA in the room that can answer that question for me? What do the kitchens look like? What's the plan? There and there. Okay, I've got the wrong group. Bradley, what do kitchens look like in the residence halls when students arrive? What are the options?
Kitchens up in the res halls?
Yes.
Well, the kitchens are there. There's no furniture, so you're not going to be encouraged to sit around, dine together, things like that. But you have access to sinks and stovetops and things like that.
All right, so if you didn't hear Bradley, what he said is that like the table and chairs that you would sit and eat, that stuff is not available, but the devices to actually cook and prepare food are there,
Yes.
and you'll be able to have full access to them.
Yes.
You just can't sit and eat there.
Yes, and extra cleaning will be happening. Countertops will be cleaned. And for those res halls that have a refrigerator, they're going to be cleaned a lot more often so that food's not being left in fridges.
Okay. All right, folks. So thanks, Bradley, for letting me put you on the spot simply because you were here. What else, Tyler?
Asking about shopping needs.
Oh.
We're encouraging students to stay on campus as much as they can, but what about when they need to leave campus to go to Walmart, do any kind of shopping at Harps?
Fabulous. All right, so let's tell you about that for your student, if that was a parent question, tell your student to check their email. Yesterday, they received an email from Lori Harper. Lori Harper is the executive assistant in student affairs to orient you. I'm just flipping around. Whoops, let's see here. That is her office door. All right. Lori is working with our IT folks and the folks at Walmart. So we now have an online shopping portal from the university's page that allows a student to go in, shop, and that will be delivered here every Wednesday. And when I say here, Tyler, is it
Right outside the student center.
right outside the student center? Where in the past we would pick students up and take them to Walmart right outside the student center. Now they can go online, shop, it'll be delivered here, and they'll be able to pick it up. And Lori sent out all the details of how to do that yesterday, and it should be sitting in your students' Ozarks email inbox. Other questions, Tyler?
How will social distancing go in quad-style rooms?
All right, so the question about quad style rooms. So for that those are the rooms where we have a double bed and then a common area and a double bed. That our assumption is we treat that like a family unit. And for example, when I'm with my wife and children, I'm not wearing a mask. So the question really is going to be, how well can I trust my roommate? How well can I trust my suite mates? And that we're going to invite them to think about their behaviors as a unit. It's going to be one of the things that the RAs work with folks on as they move in, going, okay, what's our behavior? If one of the four of us is unwilling to follow the guidelines, we're possibly putting our suite mates at risk. But once they're inside that door, the guidelines are guidelines. We're going to encourage them to be as smart and safe as possible. But it's my assumption the masks come off as you walk in the door, just as they would as I walk in my home. That's their home for the next 10 months.
Is there a form that parents could fill out to be called or notified if our child tests positive and is unable to notify themselves?
All right, is there a form that would allow parents to be involved in the screening process we're doing daily? I am unaware of that conversation. So for using my language, I'll put it on the wall. Let me see where we are with that. To remind folks how this is going to work is that students will receive to their handheld device whatever feeds their email, and they can also, I believe we're going to be able to have it where it'll be in text, where they'll get a 3-question screening survey. For example, I'm still working at home, but when I walked over here to do this, I filled out the screening survey before I crossed the street onto campus. That if there's a challenge and a student can't fill it out, might there need to be a release valve there? I'll run it through our traps and we'll see what we can do. Tyler, what else?
Just an update, when will students be receiving that form for them to start filling out?
When will students start receiving that form to fill out? Again, ask the student to check their email. They received detailed instructions on this on Wednesday from Vice President and Dean of Students Morrill, where he gave them a precursor of here's what you're going to get, here's what's expected, and that it starts arriving when they start arriving to campus.
And when can students from off campus come on campus? I think we mentioned that.
When can students from off campus come on campus? So if you're living in the community and you're in a face-to-face class, we're assuming you're coming to campus. As most of you know, we have I think we're at nearly 120 Johnson County students. Some of them live on campus, some of them do not. We're assuming they're coming to and from campus in the regular course of receiving their degree. Our request would be that we're going to trust you, and that if you're coming to and from Montgomery Street to class, that's one thing. If you're coming to and from Montgomery class Monday through Thursday, and then you're in Fayetteville on Thursday and Tulsa on Friday and Oklahoma City on Saturday, that's a problem for me, all right? So it's not simply coming to and from within Clarksville. Our Clarksville community is working really hard to get their numbers down. We've seen significant drops, and I think we're good there. It's what happens beyond the community. So if you're a commuter or you've moved off campus, we assume you're coming freely. We just hope that's to and from your home to campus freely. All right, anything else? All right, folks. I appreciate that y'all are supporting us. I see a question about student loans because I am seeing some of our questions come up. We made the decision 5 months ago to follow the federal guidelines so that when the federal government defers or delays federal student loans, we're doing the same thing with the FEFR loans. So if in doubt, please reach out to, and I'm going to give you an email address, and it's the Office of Administrative Services, OAS at ozarks.edu. We're going to work with you. If you've lost your job, if you've had challenges, if you've been sick, if anything related to the pandemic and you need to to make modifications to your FEFR student loans, reach out to us. We want to work with you. We will work with you. Our default rule is we're going to follow the federal guidelines, and if they deferred, we're going to defer. But then there are also special circumstances, so don't hesitate reaching out. Anything else, Tyler?
That's all I got.
All right, folks. Know that we so appreciate everything. We're doing what we can. That I'll end this the way I do every time. Say a prayer for us. Say a prayer for our nation. Say a prayer for the world, and pray for those in Washington that we can continue to find solutions to some of the most trying times in my lifetime, and know that we appreciate everything you're doing to help us prepare to welcome what will probably be the largest enrollment in institutional history. So God bless, take care, and we'll see you next week.